From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, Nigerian Army leadership confirms court-martial of soldiers accused of attempting to kill a major general. Bring Back Our Girls campaigners refutes claims that the group is being funded to destabilize the federal government. It's the 80th birthday lecture of Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. Former education minister calls for a new social contract with the leaders. And a high number of new cases of the Ebola virus reported in Sierra Leone and Liberia.
On Business News tonight, gross domestic product slumps to 5.49% from 7.41% after rebasing.
And sports news, Lionel Messi, Neymar, Arjen Robben and Thomas Muller jostle for FIFA's Golden Ball as the 2014 World Cup in Brazil winds up.
And from Abuja, 17 legal practitioners elevated to the position of Senior Advocate of Nigeria by the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee.
Accused of mutiny in Borno State now depends on the decision of a military court looking into the case. It was confirmed today by the Army spokesman, Colonel Nwachukwu Onyema, that the affected officers are being court-martialed in line with military laws. During the National Information Center briefing, Colonel Nwachukwu said the accused soldiers face a 6-count charge of mutiny, military conspiracy to commit mutiny, attempted murder, disobedience to particular orders, insubordinate behavior, and false accusation.
Yes, there's a commercial going on. I'm not able to ascertain the number of men that are involved in the commercial. However, over time, as the need arises, we will acquaint you, or update you if you like, with the proceedings of the conclusion, so to speak, of the commercial.
Meanwhile, Nigerian military is reported to have taken over underground armories belonging to Boko Haram. According to the military, the armed forces is now engaged in mopping up operations in Balmo Forest, which stretches from Bauchi to Jigawa, and the precincts of Sambisa Forest in Borno State. The Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, told journalists today that troops who have been excavating various sites in the forest in search of hidden weapons have so far recovered over 10 rifles, along with parts and accessories, as well as more than 80 general-purpose machine guns, tubes of rocket-propelled grenade, and launchers. Suspects captured in the forest have been taken into custody and are volunteering information linking the activities in the forest with other terrorist activities in the country. But there does seem to be a huge burden on the shoulders of the National Information Center to make public the names of individuals and political parties, those it claims are top financiers of the Islamist group Boko Haram. The United States government is said to be leading this crusade and has demanded that the center makes its findings public. When contacted today, a member of the National Information Center, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Frank Kumba, called for patience and understanding from the international community, saying that the doctrine of ripeness allows for investigations to be concluded before the outcome of such is published. The agency had taken a swipe at some politicians and others it claims are pretending to be patriotic, but are indeed causing havoc in the Northeast. The National Information Center's coordinator, Mr. Michael Mary, restated the politicians supporting the Boko Haram Islamist terror group are already being investigated. Now, members of the Bring Back Our Girls group have refuted claims in some quarters of the group is being funded to destabilize President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. Coordinator of the group, Hadiza Bala Usman, insists that the group does not have any ulterior motive. She explains that the objective for establishment of the group is to ensure that government does its best in efforts at rescuing the girls safe and alive.
Position the SSS has is contrary to what obtains in our movement. We do not have a bank account, we do not have registration, we do not have any of such things that have been mentioned. We under no circumstance intend to have any form of simulation. We're people of credibility. Whatever we do it in a proper manner. We had envisaged going to Chibok. We have written a letter to the office of the NSA asking to be provided with security to go to Chibok. So at the point where we get security clearance, we shall go to Chibok. Under no circumstance shall any simulation be made. And when I see such statements coming from the SSS, it gives me concern. It gives me concern to the extent that what sort of intelligence gathering are they doing? If there is any substantive intelligence gathering, all the information that was issued out by SSS will stand null and void, because our group is open. We have daily sittings where we discuss literally everything we do. So I'm concerned about those statements that the SSS has made, and our statement has detailed our response. But just to further highlight some of these things, as I said, we do not have some of the issues, things that were raised by that statement.
For Nigeria to surmount its current developmental challenges, leaders must shun acts capable of derailing the country from the path of sustainable growth. That's the submission of a former Minister of Education and World Bank Vice President for Africa, Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, while delivering a lecture marking the 80th birthday of Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. At the event, also attended by former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, and other eminent personalities, the former minister challenged Nigerians to live up to their responsibilities of holding their leaders accountable for their decisions and actions.
The occasion is the 17th edition of the Wole Soyinka lecture series, marking his 80th birthday. The lecture series was instituted with a view to promoting good governance, social justice, and the advancement of democratic ideals. In view of the current challenges facing the country, the guest lecturer says there is need for a new social contract between Nigerians and their leaders.
A new normal that says it is not Nigeria to be known as an underperforming country. It is not Nigeria to be known as a corrupt country. It is not Nigeria to be known for every negative label.
This year's lecture, put together by the National Association of Sea Dogs, a group formed by Professor Wole Soyinka in 1948 at the University College Ibadan, is to honor the man fondly called Kungi by friends and admirers.
He is the colossus of our current era. The government and the good people of Ogun State are immensely proud of Professor Soyinka, our illustrious son. Nigeria's only Nobel laureate and a global citizen, as he joins the exclusive club of octogenarians.
I'm not assessing him as to whether he's a good footballer. I'm not assessing him as to whether he plays tennis well. I'm not associating him. I'm not concerned about which church he worships or if he worships at all. I've seen him only simply come to celebrate what I consider to be one of the greatest human beings to come out of our continent.
In his own remarks at the occasion, former military head of state Yakubu Gowon expresses confidence in the future of the country despite its challenges at the moment.
For me to be worried about, I have confidence in Nigerians able to keep the country together, not to allow things to fall apart.
It is expected that all the ideas canvassed here will be taken into account in the efforts to reposition the country.
In part two, after the break, it's World Population Day and the focus is on developing the youth. Just stay with us.